What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is Fantasy Football 201, an advice show where I talk about fantasy football to help you win a championship. I make a wide variety of video content, so if you're interested in any of that, please check it out in the description below. For fantasy football, I've made quite a few videos over the summer. I do team previews. I've also had positional strategy. And I also have posted my 7 strategies of what has worked for me in the past to be successful in fantasy football. It's a little bit different than a lot of other people. So if you're interested in that, check it out because I think some of my strategies are a little underrated and actually work pretty well. So yeah, so if you're interested, check it out. I also make a wide variety of other content too. So if you're interested in any of that, I've also got that in the description below. And please consider like, commenting, or subscribing if you're interested. So I will be doing a 12-team mock draft today. In my last mock draft I did, I was drafting first. Now I'm going to be drafting 12th in this draft. This is on a faster modem, so it should go by a little quicker than some of my previous mock drafts, but I'm going to basically go through all of the rounds in terms of what you would do if you're drafting last in a snake draft for 12 teams. A lot of people panic when they get the last pick and they think that they're already done, but you actually have a lot of advantages to drafting last that give you 2 players before anybody else. And if you really game the strategy right, you can actually do very well drafting 12th in a 12-team league. So I'm going to demonstrate that, some things that I would do if you're in this position. So we will go through this draft modem, and basically we'll kind of start it from the top, and I'll basically kind of walk you through what I would do in this situation. So first of all, a lot of my videos are geared towards PPR. So if you're, obviously things change if you're drafting in a standard league, but we will go through my picks of what I would do. So first of all, you go through the teams and players that are getting picked. Pretty predictable so far. You have Dalvin Cook actually went number 1, very surprising. Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor. Tyreek Hill, first receiver, went 7th. Nick Chubb went 8th. Zeke Elliott went 9. Devontae Adams 10. And then 11, DK Metcalf. A little surprising there that he went as high as he did. But it is now going to me. And I have a couple options here. So Travis Kelce is available. I honestly am a little surprised that he is available this late, but he does give you a lot of value as a tight end. Other good running backs to have are also available in Aaron Jones and Austin Eckler. Also, you can get Stephon Diggs. Patrick Mahomes is the next up on the board, and the next up after that is DeAndre Hopkins. So this is on Sleeper, so the tiers are a little bit different than the ESPN format. But my general same rules apply here. I think that, if you're in a standard league, I think that you would probably try to prioritize Aaron Jones or Austin Eckler first. But considering that this is likely going to be a PPR league, I'm going to probably, while I'm here, see if I can get Travis Kelce. So first of all, I'm going to take Aaron Jones. I think he's got a lot of value here at this position. As somebody for Green Bay that's going to get a lot of opportunity there. And then in my first pick in the second round, I have a choice now between Kelce, Eckler, Stephon Diggs, Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Hopkins, etc. So I'm going to go with the pass-catching option here and take Travis Kelce. I think getting Travis Kelce this late in the draft is excellent value, especially the fact that he just dominates compared to other tight ends. I think this would be a great pickup. Travis Kelce, if he was a wide receiver last year, would have performed 3rd among wide receivers. So the only thing that you have to do if you're going to take him is you have to really prioritize making sure that you fill out your depth with running backs and wide receivers the rest of the way. You might have to go a little later to get a quarterback to make sure this happens. So next after Kelce, it was Stephon Diggs, Austin Eckler, Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Hopkins, Joe Mixon, and now we're going back around to the top of the draft. Najee Harris, A.J. Brown, a little surprising he went as high as he did. Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson. I like Justin Jefferson over Ridley and Brown personally. J.K. Dobbins, George Kittle, going pretty high as the second tight end. Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, both Washington players back to back. See, what I'm hoping will happen, which I doubt it will, is that Clyde Edwards-Helaire would be available, but he's not. He just got taken. Keenan Allen got taken as well. Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller. So both tight ends in this format are going in the by the third round. I think that's a little early for me because you can get some good tight end options later. Deandre Swift. I have questions about Swift, especially given the injury that he just had from this past week. Miles Sanders, Mike Evans, Josh Allen went next, and then David Montgomery. So now it's back to me. So, and remember, in the first round I took Aaron Jones. Second round I took Travis Kelce. So I could go wide receiver here with Allen Robinson. I could go running back with Chris Carson. I could take a quarterback with Kyler Murray. I don't think I'm going to take him that high. You also have Julio Jones available, Kyle Pitts. It doesn't really make sense to take Pitts since I already took pretty good tight end already in Travis Kelce. You could also go other wide receiver options like Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Darrell Henderson, CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore are all the ones that stand out to me. So given that I'm at the position that I am, what I'm going to do first is take Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson is third round value that I'm getting into the third round. I would definitely be happy taking him here. So I've got a good wide receiver, Allen Robinson, a good running back, Aaron Jones, and I've also got Travis Kelce. So I have a pretty solid core to build around. And then my next question is do I want to continue to go running back with Chris Carson, or do I prioritize instead getting another receiver? The only issue I have is that some of the receivers around this range I don't really like as much. The one that I'm the highest on is CeeDee Lamb, but he is available relatively later in the draft. It's a tough call. All that being said, I'm if PPR league, I'm taking CeeDee Lamb over Chris Carson personally. And the reason why I'm taking Lamb here is because I think Lamb presents a lot of upside for Dallas. They're going to have a great offense. I like Lamb the most of those receivers, and I think there's a good chance he breaks out. Amari Cooper was also on the board, but Amari Cooper is known for his inconsistency. You also have Michael Gallup, but Michael Gallup, I think, doesn't have as high a ceiling as some of those other two players. So CeeDee Lamb, I think, presents some very good value. So I've got two great receivers right now. I've got Allen Robinson, CeeDee Lamb. I've also have Aaron Jones and Travis Kelce. So going into these later rounds, I'm definitely going to look into how can I get some more running back depth, as well as start looking at some quarterback options that could be available too. So we go through the picks that just went to close out the fourth round. Chris Carson, Chris Godwin, Julio Jones, Kyle Pitts. I'm a little surprised Pitts is a fourth round pick in Sleeper. I think that's a little too high for him. Kyler Murray, Amari Cooper, Darrell Henderson, DJ Moore, Adam Thielen, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. I would go Kupp over Woods by far personally. Russell Wilson, Jamar Chase. I think that is too high for him. Kareem Hunt, Tyler Lockett, Michael Thomas, Mark Andrews, Dak Prescott. See, I was hoping if Dak fell, he could have been a good stack with CeeDee Lamb. Didn't happen, unfortunately. Kenny Galladay, TJ Hawkinson, and then James Robinson. James Robinson has some potential value given the situation with Travis Etienne's injury. So we will look at some running backs that are available here. And you've got some okay options. You've got Myles Gaskin, who's fell a little bit, and I think getting him fifth round would actually be very solid value. You also have Javonte Williams from Denver. I'm a little skeptical about how he will do. Mike Davis, not super high on him. Chase Edmonds is another one that's there as well. But I would personally rather try to see if I can get somebody else other than Chase Edmonds. Myles Gaskin I do like if he's in the right situation. Quarterbacks that are available here are Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Then you're really kind of going down the list. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take Myles Gaskin. I like what he provides, especially getting him into the fifth round. And then now I'm going to be looking. So you have a choice here. You could either, and quarterbacks are going pretty high here, but I could either go the route of Justin Herbert here in the 6th round, which I think would not be bad to consider doing something like that. Or you could wait and try to get Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to try to wait and see if I can get Trevor Lawrence. If not, there's some other sleeper value later on that I think could be good. But yeah, basically what I'm going to try to do here is you've got some other receivers available. You got Deontay Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, Odell Beckham Jr., T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, to name some people off the top of the list here. So then you got a couple of other options later on. Yeah, so I think what I probably will do here is try to get some more running back depth, given the scarcity of running backs here. I want to try to see if I can get somebody who I think presents some good upside in their situation, and that guy to me is going to be Chase Edmonds. I think he's going to be in a high explosive offense. Know that they've struggled so far in the preseason, but I think Arizona will figure it out, and I think Chase Edmonds presents more upside in that backfield than somebody like than James Conner. So I'm taking Chase Edmonds to occupy my flex for the time being, but he's also somebody that you can plug in if Myles Gaskin has a bad week, for example. A lot of the receivers that were available there, I think, gave me had some question marks to me. So again, you kind of have to change your strategy around a little bit. I would have ideally tried to take 3 receivers within the top 6 rounds, but I'm pretty happy with Robinson and Lamb as my receivers, so I'm comfortable waiting on that for the meantime. Next up, 2 Pittsburgh receivers, Deontay and Juju, Brandon Ayuk, Mike Davis, T. Higgins, Justin Herbert, Odell Beckham, Devonta Smith, Aaron Rodgers, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, Chase Claypool, Noah Fant, Raheem Mostert, Deebo Samuel, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Chark, Leonard Fournette, Cortland Sutton, Trey Sermon, going pretty high for him compared to the ESPN leagues, Robbie Anderson, and then Ronald Jones. So let's take a look at the quarterbacks that are available here. So I could go Tom Brady. Probably will not do that. I do like that Trevor Lawrence is still available here. I think that would be the guy that I would try to go with here, because I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to have some good upside as somebody who's got some mobility. He's going to have some good options, and that team is going to be behind, so they're definitely going to need scoring. So, and what I'm going to do here is actually try to create myself a little stack scenario. We got some receivers available like Laviska Shenault, who I think will have some good opportunity there in Jacksonville as the receiver with the most upside there. So I'm going to take Laviska Shenault. And then I'm going to go with my other Jags player and take Trevor Lawrence. So in this league, I'm going to go with the Jags stack and take Trevor Lawrence and Laviska Shenault, which I think has some good upside there, because Shenault, I think, is going to have some up and down performances, but if he does click with Trevor Lawrence, that gives you upside as a flex guy that you could plug in there, and you could have basically 3 receivers that you could lock in week to week, and then you get the upside of Lawrence and Shenault if he emerges as his #1 target. So I think that's especially good value that you can get him there at the end of the 7th round, early 8th round to pick up those 2 players. Next went Tom Brady, Damian Harris, Jarvis Landry, James Conner, Michael Carter, I think is a good pick to get there. Kenyon Drake, Jalen Waddle, Dallas Goedert, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Matt Stafford, Mike Williams, Antonio Brown, Gronk, I don't know why he's being taken there, Tannehill, Gesicki, Logan Thomas, Robert Tonyan, a bunch of tight ends right there, Joe Burrow, A.J. Dillon, Corey Davis, and Will Fuller. And now it's back to me. So I've got quarterback and tight end. So now what I'm going to be doing is trying to build that running back and wide receiver depth that I talk about. It's very important to make sure you do that and do not reach for defense and kickers. So 2 Buffalo running backs available. You got Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, not bad options there. Nyheim Hines is also available, as well as Gus Edwards and Tony Pollard. You're starting to get into now the territory of some handcuffs. Wide receivers that are on the board: Tyler Boyd, Michael Pittman. I think Michael Pittman has some good value there. Marquise Brown, up and down. Kind of depends on the matchup. Curtis Samuel, Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney, I think, is pretty good value to get around that range. I would like him. I'm just concerned at this point that he's going to get taken later. So you might have to. I think of guys that have a lot of upside. I think Darnell Mooney does have a lot of upside. The only issue is that I have Allen Robinson, so it's going to be questions about that. So given that scenario, I'm going to go with another receiver who I think has a lot of upside in Michael Pittman. So that's going to be my first pick there to take off the board. So I've now got 4 receivers I'm pretty confident about. And then you will go to back to the running back position. And then basically the focus is going to be trying to get some depth there. So I think of the running backs here, I like that Zach Moss is still available here in what is now the 10th round. I'm honestly still kind of surprised he's there, but this is a starting level running back who gives you a lot of upside in a very high octane offense. Definitely taking Zach Moss here. A little surprised he fell, but this is the kind of the thing that happens when you start having people that reach for quarterbacks or tight ends. Like I just listed earlier a string of mediocre tight ends like Logan Thomas and Robert Tonyan. So those are examples of when you can get running backs like Zach Moss that can fall, and if you wait for some of those players, they can kind of come to you naturally. And again, another guy who's violated one of my major rules, they took Justin Tucker in the 10th round, and then somebody else took Harrison Butker and Younghoe Koo. Oh my. These guys are not watching my videos, obviously. Then we've also got a whole slew of defenses that win the 10th round as well. I'm waiting for defenses and kickers until the end. There's just no point in doing that, because now what's going to happen is it's back around to me, because people are now taking the defenses and the kickers, and I've still got the running backs and wide receivers that were still on the board, like Nyheim Hines, Tony Pollard, Darnell Mooney. Elijah Moore is another one who's got upside. So what I'm going to do here, running back. So I've got some pretty solid running back options already, but I'm going to be trying to stack up some depth. So I'm going to go Nyheim Hines, get a solid PPR floor player in case some of my other running backs disappoint. So I've got Nyheim Hines on my team. He is on my team now. And then I could go Tony Pollard, or I could go Darnell Mooney. And I think the fact that you can get Darnell Mooney this late is very good. I just have concerns about Allen Robinson also being there. Let's take a look at some of the other running backs. So you got Tony Pollard, Jamal Williams, McKissick, Hubbard, Alexander Madison, Gainwell is another handcuff option for what is that team? Philadelphia. So yeah, you start kind of falling into the range of some guys that have a little less upside. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take Tony Pollard. I think if I didn't already have Allen Robinson, I would take Darnell Mooney this late. But I personally do not like taking 2 receivers from the same team, because one is generally going to outperform the other, and I don't like playing that game. So Tony Pollard, I'm going to have as a running back handcuff option, and that presents value to the Zeke owner. Or if Zeke gets hurt, then I now have a top 10 running back. So happy about that. Deshaun Watson and Justin Fields are both getting drafted here in the 12th round. I don't know about that. So yeah, these are a lot of guys that are. I think the thing that I've noticed with Sleeper is that they place higher priority on guys that have more upside. So you got guys like Elijah Moore going here. Other players you have there, like Philip Lindsay, is somebody that people say might have upside. Evan Ingram going higher than he was in ESPN. Henry Ruggs, guys like that. But you still have, again, another just plethora of guys that stayed on the board because people are taking defenses and kickers here. And sure enough, Russell Gage is there. Russell Gage is one of my guys that I really like, who's very under the radar. I am taking him here. So Russell Gage is on my team. This is a great value that you're getting him here at the 13th round. I'm very happy about that. Now I have to go defense and kicker. But honestly, given the fact that I have Honestly, what I'm going to do here is I don't think there's anything stopping you from taking another wide receiver. So I'm just going to pick up a kicker on waivers and just get another one. Let me just see what the defenses are that are out there right now, but I'm in the second to last round. I've got Broncos, Dolphins, Chiefs, Vikings, Saints, Titans, Seahawks. If I could get the Dolphins by waiting this late, I think that's great value. Dolphins are getting New York twice. They're getting New England, which if Cam Newton is there, you don't know what you're going to get. This is good value to take the Dolphins. And then as long as they're not stopping me, then I'm going to take a flex instead of taking the kicker. Because honestly, like these kickers, as I talk about in my kicker video, you can see below, you just simply do not need them. They are... Or, I mean, you do need a kicker, but you don't need to place priority on kickers at all because it's just essentially a crapshoot. It's not worth trying to waste time reaching for them at all. I don't know why this guy is taking Justin Tucker in the 10th round here. That is not a good move. But then again, this is probably the computer. So then, just for completion's sake, there's a couple of guys that are sleepers and handcuffs that went, like Chuba Hubbard, Kenneth Gainwell, Alexander Madison, all handcuffs, and then you got some sleeper guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I do like if you can get him here. Terrence Marshall as well, and then some tight ends like Gerald Everett I like, but then guys like Jared Cook I don't like. So if they're letting me take a flex, I'm going to take a flex, especially if I can get a good running back here. Traquan Smith is a good receiver that you could take out of New Orleans, and I'm actually very curious to see if Marquez Callaway is still here. Because I think that is a guy that you definitely want to try to target just based on the scenario of what they're dealing with. But I would rather have another running back. I only have 5. I know you're not really placing as much. This league has this mock league has a shorter bench, so you don't have as much to work with. But some of the guys of note that are there, looking through, Ramondre Stevenson has some interest. Javian Hawkins is a potential guy who could overtake Mike Davis eventually. They have Lev Bell in there just as for his like name brand hype. Not a lot of great running back options though, to be honest. So, I think what I probably will do here is take Marquez Callaway because I think that he presents a lot of upside for New Orleans, and he played excellent. He's obviously got some chemistry right now with Jameis Winston. We don't know what Michael Thomas is going to be. We don't know when Traquan Smith is going to be healthy. Adam Troutman looks like he's out for the foreseeable future. So that is what I'm doing is I'm taking Marquez Callaway, and that will end my draft. So, yeah, that's how it ended for me. So as long as they're not stopping you from taking a kicker, I mean, it depending on the league that you're in, ESPN formats make you take one of every position. But honestly, if you're in a format like this, I would personally just not draft a kicker and then just wait until you can fill the kicker position when you get to the end of the season. Because injuries are going to happen. Other things are going to happen that are just unforeseen between now and the start of the season in 2 weeks. So I would rather make sure that you have another flex than starting a suspect kicker that is ultimately going to be somebody that you might just drop after the first week anyway. So definitely check the format of your league and see if they make you draft a kicker at the end. But if you don't have to draft one, then just don't. That's personally what I would try to do. So that's all I've got for this video. Let me know what you think. And as a recap, the guys that I drafted from drafting 12th in the league, I got Aaron Jones, who's been a top 5 running back the last 2 seasons. You got Travis Kelce, who's an elite tight end. You got some good receivers with upside. You got Allen Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, and then you got some other running backs that in the 5th and 6th round, Myles Gaskin and Chase Edmonds, who people have mixed opinions on, but they both do present some upside. Then you got a stack later on with Laviska Shenault and Trevor Lawrence, which, I mean, that could give you a lot of value, especially even if Jacksonville's not good, but the two of them have great chemistry, could be great value. Another sleeper wide receiver later on, Michael Pittman. Then you got some good running backs like Zach Moss, who has some upside in Buffalo. Nyheim Hines, a good floor player for PPR. And then Tony Pollard, a good handcuff to have for Zeke Elliott. Then you got another solid receiver, Russell Gage. You have the Miami Dolphins defense, and then we have Marquez Callaway closing it out. So, again, the point of doing this is that if you're drafting last in a 12-team league, for example, or even if you're in like a larger league like 14 or 16, you do have some advantages. It changes your strategy a little bit. You do have to reach for some guys because you're picking back-to-back, but you can be successful if you are drafting last. Don't panic if that's where you end up. So let me know if you enjoy this, and once again, if you're interested in more content like this, please check out some of my stuff in the description below, and like, comment, subscribe if you're interested as well. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.